What is good, my people? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how you can build your back. Make it simple, make it easy. We're not going to do too much, guys. Okay, so the back has 4 main functions. That's to pull vertically, horizontally, extend the spine, and scapular retraction. So we're going to cover all 4 of those with different exercises and different variations that you can do, guys. Remember, we're going to make this as simple as possible. We're not going to overcomplicate. We're not going to get too scientific. We're going to hit the exercises, do them properly, and then get out, guys. So let's go. Okay, so obviously exercise number 1, we're going to be focusing on the vertical pulling motion of the back, and obviously that is going to be pull-ups, guys. Can't beat pull-ups. It's quality movement, really going to work the back. It's going to help to widen the back as well. I would say go over wide grip, but depending on where your fitness level is right now, you may have to go over narrow grip or maybe even a supinated grip. Still going to work the back. Obviously the biceps get a little bit involved with the supinated grip, but I'm going to suggest that you go over nice wide grip, guys. Now if you don't have access to a pull-up bar and all you got is a lat pull down machine, then you can use that. But I would prefer to do pull-ups, guys. A good amount of reps, especially if you're a beginner. You don't really need to do too much with the pull-ups. You just want to make sure that you're getting at least 8 to 10 reps in of the pull-ups. Now once you reach the 8 to 10 maximum and you kind of spam pull-ups and you've mastered it, you can start to add some weight, guys. And this is where the real back gains are going to come in, when you start doing weighted pull-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a dip belt or a weight belt, whatever you like to call it, and we're going to gradually increase the weight that we're going to use to get more out of our pull-ups. So if you're a beginner, you can easily start with a weight of like 5 kilos, maybe even 2.5 kilos, and build your way up to heavier weight. So we're just obviously going to loop. I should have left this on the chair, make my life a little bit easier. We're going to set up the weight belt like so, if it wants to cooperate. As I said, weighted pull-ups, a goated exercise that I think is somewhat underrated. A lot of people don't mention it, or maybe it's just starting to get its acclaim now. However, we're still going to come in to the same pull-up motion, just like that. And we're going to make sure the reps are clean, guys. We're not sacrificing form for weight. We're not suddenly swinging our body and we're only getting our forehead just above the bar. No, it's the same movement pattern. We're going to come chin over bar down to a dead hang and repeat, guys. We really want to feel it in those lats, and the added weight obviously is going to make it more intense. Now I would say once you start to get to about the 8 rep range, maybe even 7, you can increase the weight as low as 6 if you really want to, but you can increase the weight. I would say 7 or 8 is probably a bit more safer, but you can go up in increments of about 2 or 5 depending on how you're feeling. But we want to make sure we're getting minimum 4 to 5 reps in of the weight that we're doing before we start to think about progressing. But weighted pull-ups, goated exercise that you need to be doing. It should be in your regime, whether you're a Cali guy or classic bodybuilding. You need to be having some sort of weighted pull-up in your regime, guys. Now I know some of you are going to argue the case, well, oh, I don't have weight plates and blah blah blah, this, that, and whatever. Now if you've been watching my channel from the beginning, you saw that I made my own dip belt, my own weight belt out of some rope, and I bought some calipers from the store. The calipers were like $5, guys. The rope again was like $5, so $10 for your own homemade dip belt. And let's say you don't have weights, well, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna grab a brick or something that has a hole in it, so it can be a book bag filled with books, anything that you're able to loop your belt in and around, similar to the weight plate. And guess what you're gonna do? You're going to do the exact same thing. So just going to make sure that it's secure. This is not always the easiest thing. Look at that. We've got the weight right here, and guess what? We can do our weighted pull-ups. So there's absolutely no excuse. You can even get one of those like big jug water bottles, loop it through the holder, and again, make your own dip belt. So there's no excuse why you shouldn't be able to do weighted pull-ups. It just depends on how badly you want it, guys. There are so many tutorials on YouTube how to make your own dip belt, and obviously, as I said, if you can find some bricks, you know, you just go to your local construction, or you know, some place where there's construction is taking place. I'm not saying to steal, but you know, there's always bricks lying around somewhere, and you can get the weighted pull-ups in, guys. You can build your back, you know what I'm saying? So again, absolutely no excuse, make it happen. So now we're going to focus on the horizontal pull. That was the next one. So that's going to be any form of row. Now you can do a bodyweight row, you can do a bent over row, you can do a single arm dumbbell row. Any sort of row is going to help to build the thickness in your back, and that's what you want to focus on. So for example, if all we've got, let's imagine these are 2 chairs on either side, broom in the middle, or some form of pole. We can start here, guys. Start with this, stretch your legs out, and then eventually you can grab a bench or a chair or something that you can place your feet on top of. Take it to the next level. I mean, just make it easy, make it simple, especially if you don't have weights. As I said, put your feet on here, still get the work in, guys. Now if you do want to add weight, a weight vest is probably going to be the most ideal and the most stable, I'll be honest with you, especially with the rows. You can put a weight plate on your chest. I've done it before. Again, not the most stable, but if that's all you got, that's all you got. Obviously you can put a backpack reverse, so you can put the backpack on your front, put some books or something in your backpack, and then just do the rows like that. Now obviously I mentioned that you can do a bent over row. Now in regards to the bent over row, your lower back strength and your hamstring strength is going to be a limiting factor. However, if you've got strong hamstrings, decent lower back, obviously you can do the bent over row, guys. It's another option for you. Now if bent over rows aren't really your thing, then we can go into a single arm dumbbell row. So all we're going to do is grab a dumbbell, find a bench or a chair, and literally we're just gonna row backwards, guys. Now see the movement pattern? I'm not going up here because that's gonna work the bicep more than anything. It's almost like we're arcing back to really get the back muscles involved, guys. So instead of coming here, we're gonna arc back, really feel it in the back. So many different options that you can do. Now if you really want to get heavy with it, then I would suggest doing maybe a chest supported row. I'm not going to set that up because I don't really have a chest supported row here. I use the bench and make a lot of things happen at the end of the day. So a chest supported row, you can do that as well. That is really going to allow you to take out the limiting factors, aka like the hamstrings, the lower back, all the other stuff, even stability wise as well, a lot more stable, so you can really focus on that rowing motion. But that's, you know, a lot of different variations that you can do to work on that horizontal pull, again, to build that thickness in your back. And if you are not ready for the pull-ups yet, then obviously you can do horizontal pulls to build up into that vertical pull at the end of the day. So again, no excuse. Now we're going to focus on the extending of the back, or the spinal extension of the back. Now if you don't have a back extension or a Roman chair, whatever it's called, you know, the ones where you can set the pad up here and whatever, I create my own with this, but I ain't gonna show you all that today, maybe another time. But all you can do, guys, is get a bench like this. Make sure you put a weight on it so it keeps the bench stable, and we can practice just working on that extending of the spine, guys. Very important. You know, you want to make sure that a lower back is healthy and strong, because once your lower back goes out, and trust me, I know if you've been following my path to God body journey, and you know I had to rebuild, or I'm in the process of rebuilding my lower back, it's the last thing you want, because the lower back is part of the core, you know, and it involves a lot of hip hinge movements. And if you are unable to bend over and move in certain ways, and you know, it's going to limit your training a lot, and it's limited mine. So this is why I'm telling you, make sure you do your back extensions, guys. Very, very important. Lower back, very, very important. So I can give you a quick example of how I would do it if I was setting up a barbell. This is not the exact setup, but if you have access to a power rack and your gym doesn't have a back extension Roman chair, unfortunately, what you can do, you would have to secure your feet. Again, make sure that your bar is about hip height. So just want it to catch you about here, guys. Again, secure your feet with something and you can literally do an extension on this. Now obviously I ain't got much grip, but you get the gist at the end of the day. So you'll be able to do the extension on here. Obviously you put something padded here to protect your pelvis, guys, and then you can start to add weight, really work on the back extension, get that lower back nice and healthy and strong, and then after that, man, you'll be golden. We're gonna focus on the retracting of the back, and there's no better exercise to do than face pulls. Now you can do this with cables or you can do this with a band. Like, so if you're working at home, you might have to get yourself a set of resistance bands, and we're just going to work on doing some face pull, guys. So literally the setup, you want to imagine that you're bringing your elbows back rather than rowing back, because that's obviously going to become a row. We want to focus on bringing those elbows back behind our head, just like that. And that's really going to strengthen the upper back and the whole thoracic chain, guys. So face pulls, very easy. Now obviously if you want to progress these, it would be better maybe to do it with a cable machine, but if you don't have those, you can just use a heavier and heavier resistance band and you're still going to be able to do the work. I would say start off light, see how the movement feels, get the movement pattern down first, and then obviously you can progress heavier and heavier. But face pulls, quality exercise. Again, really going to work on retracting the back. Now there is different ways that you could do a row that would essentially still get that sort of retraction phase. So let's say for example, instead of rowing here, you could probably row a bit higher, and you see the position that my back is in. So instead of rowing here where the lats are a bit more involved, you can row here. It's going to get the rear delts involved and it's still going to get that retraction sort of movement. So those are the options for you guys. So my people, that is how you can build your back up. Very simple, very easy. Again, majority of this equipment is accessible or can be substituted for household items, so there's no excuse really. You can still make those back gains. So I would definitely recommend you get yourself a set of resistance band if you're going to be working at home. Obviously you can make a dip belt. There's YouTube videos on how to make your own dip belt and all the equipment involved. Again, pull up bar, go to a park, go to the gym, whatever else, and then if you have the weights and other equipment, then life is going to be so much more easier for you. However, you still get it done at the end of the day. No excuses, make it happen. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.